Good evening and hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to our Sunday leadership call. My name is Miriam Kareem, and I'm so excited to welcome you all to this Sunday edition, part three, I believe, in the 8-part series of getting your business to where you want to be and what it requires and what you need to do. But first, I'd like to take a quick trip to the newbie corner. So, one of the things that struck out to me this week was being coachable. And and for me, being coachable, I'm learning as I go along. Being coachable isn't just following a set of instructions, or this and this, but it's also putting your trust in the person that's giving you the instructions. You have to trust that person. If that person is where you want to be, then trust that person is telling you whatever instructions you're getting, that it's for you to get where you want to be. You have to trust them. And the great thing about um here here in our team, in our little community, a big growing community, is that we got so many people we can trust um, for instruction. We've got Coach Sonic, we've got Coach Will, Coach Marcus, Coach Tina, um, Coach Charlotte, Coach Seymour. So many people that can pour into you and just give you a quick bit of advice that might even make it click further. You'd be like, oh, I get it now, because everybody delivers instruction differently. So keep that in mind. But reach out to our amazing coaches and be coachable. That being said, I'd like to introduce to you our teacher tonight, Coach Will Zanders. He is a multiple seven-figure earner in the network marketing world, and he is the first $100,000 earner at Goldesana, a great teacher. Um, just an amazing person, super, super friendly, and loves to have fun. Coach Will, are you available, sir?
There we go, Miriam. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I am traveling this evening, so y'all have to forgive me. I will not be on camera because you can't see me anyway. But we're going to get this information out. And I want to thank Miriam for the visit to the Newbie Corner. That's one of the things I look forward to the most, honestly, on these calls. And every time, without fail, what she shares, it always triggers something. I go, man, that's something great to talk about. Let me add a little bit to what she's saying because it's so relevant, and you guys get to see it from a standpoint as she's taking her journey. So as far as that we've been fortunate enough to have with the company, as Marion mentioned, I'm going to give you two things that will help you out a lot and save you a lot of headache and a lot of heartache in reference to leadership. And this is if you decide to stay with our company, this will still benefit you. If you decide to go somewhere else one day, I hope you don't, but if you do, this will benefit you again. The first thing when it comes down to being coachable and teachable, if you acknowledge that, yes, I don't know everything, and I'm going to be coachable and teachable with the leadership, and we're going to talk about that more this evening. You got to make sure that they have what you want. Let me just be very clear. You got to make sure that they have what you want. And I don't mean 30 years ago. The game of network marketing from a technique standpoint has changed so much in the last 15 to 20 years. There are people who had results 10 years ago that are still living off the results they had 10 years ago. And I'm not, I don't call people out by the names about this type of stuff. You just have to be smart enough to be able to discern, does this person have the life and the lifestyle and the freedom I want? Um, are they still working a full-time job? If they are working a full-time job, are they there because they want to be there? My favorite example is always Coach Marcus. It's my favorite. He says about 2 or 3 times a year, all right, man, I'm ready to hang it up. I've made almost 6 million in network marketing. I don't need the gig. I said, Coach, please don't quit on us. If you quit working and just make network marketing money like a lot of us do, and he's been doing it for so long, we're not going to have any other stories to tell. Like, who, if people keep retiring because they're making money with the companies, We won't have any stories to tell for the people that actually like their job. They may think that, man, I'm gonna get wealthy and then I'm gonna quit my job, but I like my job. We want you to know that you don't have to quit your job. But make sure that the person you're listening to has the results you want in some capacity. And then on top of that, the second thing is equally as important. Okay, equally as important. If you've just determined, not just based on social media in real life, you've been around this person, you know the kind of money they have and what they're doing, and you know, if they have the life and the freedom that you want, here's the second thing, very, very important. You have to be able to separate the message from the messenger. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize this part enough. The first part's easy. We got income verification here. You can look in the back office and see how much a lot of networkers have made with our company and things, and you can see how much people haven't made. Okay. The main thing is once you've ascertained that this is someone who has what you want, because you can only duplicate what you are. Okay. You can regurgitate any information you've heard. All right. You can say anything you heard some fancy trainer or top earner say. You can take everything I've ever trained and put in the book and sell it. If you really wanted to do that, you can regurgitate anything you ever hear. You can only reproduce what you are. That's why one of the things I'm most proud of is the fact that I've worked with almost 24 people that I've personally sponsored and personally worked with who have hit six figures and above, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 900,000. Okay, because I'm duplicating what I am. If I were a guy who's a coach who's going to get on here and talk to you and tell you all kind of great stuff, that makes sense, which I know it will. But I was not duplicating. There's nobody I sponsored who's getting the results. At some point, you got to slow down and you have to separate the message from the messenger. And that's a skill in network marketing. You have to be able to separate the message from the messenger. I can listen to a coach. I can go to a training or an event with a coach that I don't like and can't stand. But I'm going to be humble. I'm going to be polite. I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to gossip, not going to badmouth him. And I'm going to do my best to extract the wisdom and the knowledge from the coaching apart from the person. And that's a problem that a lot of network marketers have. You can't separate the messenger from the message. So you end up following people and quote unquote learning from people who you like a lot, who, let's be honest, do not have the results that you want. And you wonder why you're duplicating that. And it's going so slow. Okay. Others of you in network marketing, some of our company, but we don't really have a problem with this, thank goodness. But a lot of other companies and people in the industry are going to follow people who they like, who are not duplicating what they need to happen in their lives from a goal standpoint. And then other people are going to ignore or not. They're like, I don't like that Will Sanders guy. I'm not getting on his calls. I just don't like that guy. That's, look, fine by me. But my point is, I'm just using me as an example. You have to be able to separate the message from me. I don't care if you like me or not. The information duplicates. The information I give you works in real life. In 2023, 2024, 2025, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013, 2012, my first year that I was a six-figure earner in network marketing. There's never been a year since I started network marketing that I was not a six-figure earner. It's never happened. It's never happened. And the 24 six-figure earners that I'm referring to you about, that's just with HBN Green Organics. That's not even my prior companies. So that's two things. Make sure the person you listen to has what you want, and make sure that you're able to separate the message from the messenger. That's going to benefit you a lot. I can listen to top earners from other companies, and I'm able to extract the information that I need without really hating on the person or not liking them or falling in love with their opportunity or anything like that. So if you can develop those two skills, that will save you light years of headache and heartache. And I want to thank Miriam for bringing that up from a coaching standpoint. And she was right. We are very, very blessed to have, like she mentioned, Coach Sonic, Coach Marcus, Coach Tina, myself, and many, many others with our company that you have the ability to get information from that's proven and tested and verified. So thank y'all for bearing with me. Just wanted to get that out there. Now let's dive into some information. And this is going, yeah, look, Randy said, yeah, tell him, Randy, stop being a hater. It's going to happen. But let's dive into some information tonight. And I've got some questions from people. I don't know if they're going to ask these on the chat, but they have messaged me and asked me the information. And the reason why I'm going to bring this up, because as our team grows, and we're adding probably hundreds of people a month, and probably 5 or 10 new people are hopping on the calls each and every week. And I like that. We're getting a lot of questions, not just about the biblical side of things that we teach several messages about. We're actually getting messages because I will also quote from the Quran, and I will also quote from some Hindu texts as well, just because I want people to understand and get the full range of teaching and understand that you can apply any of it to network marketing if that's what you choose to do. So we had a lot of questions this past week, and I promised I would hurry up and answer them on a call, and they will relate to the information, don't worry. But we had some Quran questions and some Bible questions, and I just want to make sure that people understand what those books are. I don't want you to, I'm not saying you should be one or the other or anything like that, but I just want to make sure you have some historical reference, okay, as to what that is, because our team is such a beautiful team. We're so inclusive of, any faith and religion that people are coming to us with. Is very tolerant, but that's because our leadership team is very educated on the things that are important to our organizations, and your faith and your spirituality as an individual is very, very important to you. So we will talk about stuff like that from time to time on these calls. I don't want anybody to be offended. If you do get offended, then it is what it is. Go do your own call. But we love our team so much here that nobody's bigger than anybody else. We want to make sure everybody understands these particular texts, and we can mention more in the future. Now, the Bible and the Quran are going to be the central religious text of Christianity and Islam, and also the Jewish faith as well, with the Torah. And they're related insofar as the Bible, the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible, as well as the Quran, are going to mention Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus as well. Now, the difference is the Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, significant years after the Bible was already written. And that is why the Quran does mention certain books of the Bible, but not vice versa. Okay, so just understand that conceptually. The most important part that I'll give you, and I think this is the only part that is really relevant for a lot of people who just want a better understanding. You use the books, you use the Bible, and you use the Quran in reference to interpreting itself. Okay, so I'm going to give you a book, a verse, and then explain it to you, and that'll help you just understand the connection between these 2 books and others that we may discuss in the future. Okay, so just bear with me. Very important stuff for you, and also understand that those are the largest religions in the world. So your education, or Will, you need to be talking about network marketing stuff 24/7. Well, not quite. And that's probably why you're where you're at, is because you don't understand that this is a people business, real profit people, and we people and people business. We have to have some important people, even if it's not important to you. You trust me, okay? So there's a verse from the Surah Al-Ankabut, okay? This is chapter 29, verse 46 in the Quran. And it says, and do not argue with the people of the scripture. And that's referring to Christians and Jews, the people of the Bible. And reveal to you, and our God and your God is the same. We are Muslims in submission to him. So just understand what they broke down there. Right there, the Prophet Muhammad is explaining to other Muslims to not argue with Christians and Jews, except when people are committing injustice. And we would do the same. We would talk to anybody who's committing a crime or doing injustice. But it does say, we believe in that which has been revealed to us and revealed to you, and our God and your God is one. They're basically saying there that the God of the Muslims, the Jewish people, the Hebrew Israelites, and the Christians, it's all the same God. We may call him God, they call him Allah. It is the same God. Okay, so just understand conceptually that it's the same at its core. We could go more in depth into that. We don't have to, but just understand it's not as different as you think. Okay, there's a lot of other verses in both books that could be very, very problematic. We will address those at a later date. Not that we have to, but I just don't like seeing the news and the media pit people together from a lack of understanding each other and the core text. And a lot of people who talk about the Bible have never read it. A lot of people who talk about the Quran have never read it. A lot of people who talk about the Sanskrit and the Hindu scriptures have never read them. And we just don't want to be ignorant. We want to make sure that we understand each other and we understand people. Okay. All right. Can y'all hear me okay? Are we good? All right. Look like we're good. I don't know if I was losing signal on these back streets. I think we're good now. Uh, put a one in the chat if that made sense. If not, I'm not going to repeat it and bring it up. That's irrelevant. But I hope you got the point. We're not that different. And if you can understand that, it is going to bless your life outside of network marketing in your relationship with billions of people around the world. All right, let's get down to some information tonight. That's why y'all came on board. But thank y'all so much for sticking around while we went through that. Tonight, we're going to be talking about another one of your unfair advantages in network marketing. Okay. Now, we talked about earlier on the call last week, and you can get the recording for that, that success in business is not about luck, and it's really about leveraging your unfair advantages. And most people in network marketing are only going to focus on the physical actions, sometimes the skills, and they fail. Okay. Because it's more than that. Now, true lasting success is in network marketing or any type of success, business wise, especially, is going to require mastery amongst the physical, mental, and spiritual planes. There's three levels to your existence. And we know that the animals were designed to thrive instantly in their environment, but humans, we lack the natural survival traits. Okay, what we were given was a power to shape our environment to suit us. And many network marketers are going to struggle because they're trying to adapt to the industry and do everything the way the industry does it instead of shaping the industry to their strengths. Okay. People often say in industry, don't talk about your religion, don't talk about your political beliefs, don't talk about that. That's the way everybody in network marketing does it because they're afraid of offending people. The problem is they're not being truthful, they're not being authentic, and that's why nobody want to join you anyway. If you won't fight for what you believe in, I know you're not going to fight for me. And that's a conversation that a lot of people are having internally. Okay. So tonight we're going to be cultivating another aspect of our unfair advantage. The first one we talked about was understanding the three different planes of existence. The second one we talked about was how you need to explore GEM, the growing niche, find an extraordinary pain, and find the magic moment, the timing to position you in the niche at the right time. Okay. And this is a once in a generation opportunity for you. Now tonight, we're going to be covering another unfair advantage, and I'm gonna start off with an apology. All right, and it's because I often mention that the most important network marketing skill is rapport. I've said this for years, and to a large degree, I still believe that. But I want to clarify a bit. Okay, there is a skill that is more important than rapport. All right. It's a skill that is more important than inviting or closing. It's a skill so important that I won't even call it a skill. I'm gonna call it a meta skill. It's like metaphysics. It's above the other skills. It's a skill that trumps every other skill. And ladies and gentlemen, that skill is going to be learning. Okay. More specifically, it's going to be learning, as I define it, the ability to effectively acquire, process, and apply knowledge and skills. Okay. Just understand that. To effectively, all right, to effectively acquire, process, and apply knowledge and skills. I didn't say the ability to read, okay? I didn't say the ability or skill of reading, or the ability or skill of listening, or the ability or skill of note taking, or the ability or skill of spouting off some bunk that sounds good so people think you're smart. I said the ability to learn, the skill of acquiring, processing, and applying new information and knowledge and skills. Skills are relevant if you can't learn them. Okay, so I need you very quickly, two things. We're going to go through how we learn. This is going to be another unfair advantage for you because when you understand how we learn, you can learn anything. All right. Again, it's what is repeated is remembered, and what is remembered is repeated. So some of this information will be brand new for a lot of you. Some of this information, you'll be like, okay, I've heard that before. I know that. Others of you have heard it before, but you needed a couple of weeks, a couple of months to process it. And now you're going to hear it tonight, and it's going to make a million times more sense. Okay. What is repeated is remembered, and what is remembered is repeated. Never forget that. So when we're talking about acquire or really sharpening the skill of learning, all right, the first step in that is to create an aim for your learning. Why are you wanting to learn in the first place? This is why elementary school a lot of times is so boring for people because they're not, we're just told what to learn, but not why to learn it. I mean, trigonometry and geometry, I just wanted to pull my hair out. Like, why am I even learning this? This is why the children who went to different specialized schools typically did far better, because like we enjoyed art class, or we enjoyed basketball practice, or we enjoyed certain things where we knew why we were learning or why we were doing this particular thing. So make sure that your 20 reasons why is sharp and ingrained in your mind. Your 20 reasons why you want to do the business, as Coach Marcus talks about in the Franchise Factory training, because you need to stay plugged into the reason why you even need to learn. You need to have such a clear vision for your life. And you know that network marketing can give it to you. If you put the work in, you'll get the result out. But then once you know what you want in that network marketing as an industry and a business model can give it to you, then you have to go, okay, that's why I want to learn this business. That's why I need to learn these success principles. That's why me and my team need to be on these calls that coach is doing, because if I learn it is one thing. If my team learns and they go duplicate, I'm going to grow 5 times faster, 10 times faster. I can make my first 6 figures in 2025 with 9 months left in the year. How? Because of duplication, but you can't do it all yourself. So if you're not promoting the calls to your team, but you're getting value, you're missing the point of the call. Okay. So that's number one, create an aim for your learning. Number two, this is all under the unfair advantage of knowing how to learn and what to learn and why to learn. It's very important for you. So number two is understanding how your brain learns. It learns several ways, but one of the ways is going to be repetition, which is why we mentioned what is repeated is remembered and what is remembered is repeated. Now with the repetition, there are going to be levels. Okay, and that first level we talk about it is unconscious incompetence. This is level 1 of learning, unconscious incompetence. All right, it basically means you don't know what you don't know. And whenever you're learning a new skill, you are at that level of I don't know what I don't know. If you've never driven a car before, you've never started a car before, the first time you drive, you don't know anything. And then you might read a driving instruction manual or something and you start learning. But when you start learning any skill, network marketing especially, you don't know what you don't know. It's the same thing with parenthood or anything else. You just don't know what you don't know. And that's a dangerous place to be, but it is where we all start. It's called unconscious incompetence. You are incompetent. You ain't worth a pile of salt in what you're trying to learn because you don't know anything. But then immediately, once you try it and you realize that you're not very good, once you try it to do the thing, you are immediately going to graduate to level 2 of learning, which is conscious incompetence. Yes, I'm still incompetent, but I am conscious of it now. I am aware that I'm no good at this. Okay, this is a very, very important place to be in your learning in network marketing, because when you start doing this business and you're like, man, I'm really not good. Let me just be very clear. One or two things is going to happen. You're going to quit, or you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to do what it takes to get to level 3. And this process happens even if you don't know it's happening. Conscious incompetence is a great place. And a lot of people, let me tell you what happens. A lot of people think that they understand 1 and 2 because they understand that 1 plus 1 is 2. But they don't really understand 2, because in order for you to understand 1 plus 1 equals 2, it's not enough for you to understand 1. You have to understand what the word plus means. If you don't understand what the word plus means, you don't understand 2. And so let me put that in network marketing terms. A lot of people come in with skills and knowledge about 1. They know about their job and how to do it. They have a skill in their regular life. They know how to, cook or clean or work at an office or do math or play a sport. They know some good stuff. They know 1. And they think because they know what 1 is, they know what 2 is, but they don't. And they come into network marketing thinking, oh, I was good at this, I can be good at that. And they're not, okay? Because they never learned the word plus. You have to learn the thing that translates into what you're doing. Okay, so conscious incompetence is a good place, because that's the day you realize, you know what? I don't know what the word plus actually means. And I mean plus insofar as it's nebulous usage for metaphor. Okay, I don't know what plus means. So Then once you realize that you don't know as much as you think you did, now you get to graduate to level 3. And level 3 is the level you're at for a while, typically, and it is called conscious competence. This is when you start getting good. This is when you start the learning process. This is when repetition really starts to get strong, because you have to condition your mind. Okay, this is when repetition really becomes very valuable to you, and you have to do the same thing over and over and over. Well, I'm tired of talking to people again. I know it's boring, but you got to keep doing it. I'm tired of getting on these calls 3, 4, 5 nights a week. I know, but you got to keep doing it. You don't know enough yet. You got to do repetition. I'm tired of doing these scripts. I'm tired of role playing with my mentor, my sponsor, my upline. What do I say? He called me at 3 in the morning and said, "Hey, I want to join, but I don't have the money. What do you say to that?" I have to know what to say. I have to know how to handle these objections. You have to learn through repetition and role playing. It's how human beings learn. We learn by modeling. You learn by doing over and over and over and over again. You're going to be at the level of conscious competence, and you're going to get a couple of good results. You're going to get some sales. You're going to get some people sponsoring people. Thank you, Richard Futzer. I love that comment. Okay. I'm gonna just Richard said Green Organics is the only company that even has a notion of what Will Zanders is talking about. You, sir, would be correct. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Okay. So just understand that when you're at conscious competence, you're going to be there a while. You're going to be frustrated. But this is when the second batch of people quit. Okay. It's the second batch. The first batch of 70 percenters, they're going to quit at the level of conscious incompetence when they realize that they don't know a lot and they're not good at this. They know one, they don't know two. That's when the first batch are going to quit. The second batch is going to quit somewhere during the process of conscious competence, when the work of learning is really taking place. That's when they quit. Okay, totally fine. If you stay and learn the skills and put them into practice over and over again, it's not really a time thing so much as it's a repetition thing. Because Will, how many people I need to talk to be good in network marketing? How many presentations I need to do? Let's do 500 presentations. Oh, that'll take me forever. Why? Why would it take you forever? You're attaching a time frame to something that is not time related. It is activity related. You think it'll take you 500 months to do 500 presentations. Not for me. When I started out, I was doing 4, 5, 6, 7 presentations every day and a half, every 2 days. So I'm gonna get it over with. Okay, that's the difference. You gotta get through the conscious competence phase. And then, ladies and gentlemen, something very special is going to happen. You are going to graduate to level 4. And at level 4, you are going to hit the level of unconscious competence. One day, after doing this business, attending calls, talking to people, using products, coming to events, like in Nashville, Tennessee in September, please be there, be square. We got a handful of in-person tickets left. Let's get those knocked out so we can book a venue. All right, that being said, when you get to the level of unconscious competence, okay, you are now at the level where you don't have to think about it no more. If somebody hits you up and says, "I really want to join, but I don't have the money," you automatically know to cycle through. It takes less than a split second to cycle through. Thank you so much. To cycle through several different possible things that you could say. And one of those things could be, okay, if someone says, "Well, I really want to join, but I don't have the money," I say, "Of course you don't have the money. That's why you're talking to me. Now let's go ahead and figure out a way to go ahead and get you started, because you don't want to be broke all your life." All right. So that's not the way you would, that's not the way you would answer everybody, but it's a way that you could answer somebody. And there's a ton of different ones, but I've sent them all so many different times. Okay. That you're going to instantly know what to say in the moment. You're going to instantly know what to say and how to arrange that in the moment, talking to that person. That's how you know you are at the level of unconscious competence. Okay. Unconscious competence is level 4. I see we had a typo in the chat, coach. I say, but unconscious means I'm not consciously aware of it. I don't have to think about it. It just happens smooth, and you'll know it when you get there. Now there's one level left of learning, and that's going to be level 5. And that level 5 of learning is going to be the level of mastery. How do we know if you have truly mastered? How do we know if you have truly mastered a thing? Okay, we know if you truly mastered it, at least in network marketing, because you have duplicated it. Okay, I'll tell you, you duplicate at least twice. I don't really give a lot of uh I give credit where credit's due. I don't give a lot of credit to my network marketing coach and peers. Me and Coach Marcus will talk crazy to these people if we ever see them out, because even if they became a six-figure earner by the grace of God in some capacity, but they only have one person who they've sponsored who hit six figures, that simply lets me know they might have just sponsored somebody really good. You might have accidentally sponsored a Will Zanders. You might have got you one. And that'll give you that credibility of, hey, I'm a six-figure earner because of the money, the income I generated from sponsoring that rock star. And they hit the $100,000 level because they are a rock star. But sometimes you can get away with not doing nothing. You just get lucky. And we all know some people like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the beauty of this industry. You can make money sometimes just off recruiting the one right person, even if you ain't great. I kid you not. I love that about this industry. So I'm not knocking it, but I have to watch those people from a coaching standpoint and be like, ooh, I don't know if they really got it like I say they got it, because I don't see the duplication. Okay, so so documentation. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jess. It's very, very important that you have the documentation of duplication at some point in your career. At some point, you're going to want to have that. It's going to mean a lot to you, and it's going to mean a lot for your credibility. Okay, so mastery happens at the level of duplication. Okay, now the next piece of it, and put down if that makes sense. That concept makes sense. The five levels of learning: unconscious incompetence, conscious competence, conscious incompetence, and unconscious competence, level 4, and mastery, which is going to be duplication. If you do this long enough and you know your stuff, you should have at least 2 or 3 people who have hit that level. Okay, you should. I know Coach Tina has that. I've talked to those people, right? I know Coach Marcus has that in spades. I've talked to these people. I understand these things. Even our coaches who haven't been with us that long, like Coach Sonic, they'll have it soon. He's had it at other companies. He'll have it here. He just hadn't been here as long as us. Okay. So just understand, no Coach Charlotte right now. She hate when I call her coach because she's so humble. It don't matter. She's a six-figure earner and she got at least 2 coming up right behind her right now. Okay. Kenya might even be on this call. So that duplication, it's gonna be so important for you, but you'll get it. You'll get it. Okay. Now that brings us to about the halfway point of the call. And I want to make sure, let me check the chat, make sure we all good. Makes sense? Good, perfect. I need this to make sense. And as we transition to the second half of the call, because we really want to complete the spiritual learning on the spiritual plane tonight. I don't want to drag this into another call, so we may run a little bit long. Okay. But we're at the halfway point. I want you to understand that if you get this part dialed in, the next thing I'm gonna teach you, the next 2 pieces, the mental plane, where all the strategy is, and the physical plane, which is where the skills are and the how to do the part of network marketing, that part is going to be easy for you. Oh, I mean, you did it away. Okay, so let's dive into this part. Now, your success on the spiritual plane is going to be largely determined by your ability to learn the concepts that we just gave. Okay, understanding your reasons why and the levels of how you learn. Do not get frustrated with the time that has to pass while you're going through the 4 to 5 levels of learning. Okay, now last week we gave you a scientific, biological, and biomechanical explanation of the different parts of the brain in reference to the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, how it sends out thought waves and thought forms, and how those waves are those energy signatures are going to interact and resonate with other people's brains. Your brain, as Napoleon Hill said it in the laws of success in 16 lessons, and how Bob Proctor so eloquently put it in basically all his trainings, your brain is going to send out signals, okay, to other people. Okay, sometimes you're going to go into a place thinking that you're going to have a bad experience, and you will have a bad experience. Okay, but we talked about that on a scientific level. We talked about that on a biomechanical brainwave states, okay, alpha wave, and we talked about that on a scientific level. What I need to do to complete the teaching on the spiritual plane is to give you the exact same concept, but I'm going to give it to you in a way that made more sense for me. Okay, it made more sense for me. And it might make more sense for you. I don't know. Now, I'm going to give, and this is the way it was taught in our communities, okay, thousands of years ago. And in fact, and that's just from a spiritual standpoint, it was taught like this in a network marketing community over 100 years ago. But then as society evolved and changed, it developed more of a new age thought type thing and got away from the true original spirituality of it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some verses right now from the Bible. Hold on one second. That's my lovely wife. What you need, baby? Okay, I'll take care. Good. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm gonna give you some verses right now, and these particular verses are going to make sense for some of you. Okay, some of you they won't at all, but by the end of this second half of this call, they will all make sense, and you will be able to utilize them to understand how to create your reality network marketing better than you ever have before. So let's start off with some from the book of Proverbs. Okay, book of Proverbs. Now I'm going to read them one time, and because we got a lot to get through. Okay, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. It reads, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." Interesting. Okay, now if Jesus is the Lord of your life, well, he's the Lord of my life. I don't really want to fear that guy. I love that guy. But fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Okay, cool. We'll address that. Next one, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 27. Again, the fear of the Lord prolongs days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Interesting. Why is it repeated again that the fear of the Lord, okay, prolongs days? Why would we? I don't really want to fear. That is the most, he loves everybody. Why am I supposed to be scared? Okay, but we'll keep going. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 26. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence. Okay, fear and confidence do not even relate to each other. That doesn't make any sense, but it is in the book. Okay, next up, this is going to be from Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. Prophet Isaiah. I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Since when did the Lord create evil? That don't even sound like something I really want to be a part of. But guess what? It's in the book. Okay. Charles Price says reverence and honor of the Lord. Not quite Charles Price, but I will explain it. You're on the right track, buddy. That's what we were taught. So Charles Price just said, he made a great point. This Charles Price who got third in the axe throwing competition. He did great in Orlando. Charles Price just said it's referencing the reverence and honor as fear. No, reverence and honor mean reverence and honor. Okay, when the Bible says it doesn't say fear thy mother and father. It doesn't say reverence thy mother and father. It says honor thy mother and father, that thy days may be longer upon the earth. So when the Bible want to say honor, it says honor. When the Bible says fear, it want to say fear. It's saying fear on purpose. But I'm explaining it to you. It's okay. This is something that you get from network marketing that you'll never get in college and you'll never get it at a job. You'll get it here. It'll bless your life. Okay, here's one of my favorites. All right, from the prophet Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. And whoever has the phone unmuted, do me a favor, keep it muted so we can have a clear recording. Thank you kindly. So from the prophet Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in a city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord hath not done it? So the prophet Amos, speaking for the word right there, Amos said, if they got evil in the city, the Lord did it. Now, I know that sounds crazy to some of you who haven't been training with us for a while, but it'll make sense in a minute, okay? Let's do a few more and we'll move on to the explanation of how this affects your network marketing, okay? Book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 37 and 38. Who can speak and have it happen if the Lord hath not decreed it? Is it not from the mouth of the Most High that both calamities and good things come? So right there is saying that if the Lord speak it, that is where the calamity, that's where the bad stuff come from, and the good stuff. I know it sounds crazy. Well, I thought that came from the devil. Well, you haven't read the book, have you? The devil don't get mentioned for a minute, all right? Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. This is one of my favorites as well. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. All right, this is God talking to Moses now. This is the Lord speaking from the cloud, speaking to Moses when he's saying this. He says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. Okay, so you know it's the Lord. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So the Lord says in Deuteronomy, he says, I'm doing the killing and I'm doing the birthing. I'm doing the wounding and the stabbing and I'm doing the healing. And nobody can stop me from doing any of this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this is not a different and listen, everything I'm giving you is word for word. You can look this stuff up yourself in the King James. We can do this all night. I'm gonna just give you a few more because I really got to make this point. This is probably one of the most important calls we're gonna do all year. Okay, and it's so important. This is what we get from Proverbs chapter 16. We'll do one more. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself. Yes, even the wicked for the day of evil. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bible tells you in Proverbs 16:4 that the Lord made the wicked people too, and the evil, and the calamities, and the good, and the bad, because there's only one supreme creative power in the world. A lot of people are still giving a little too much credit to the president. Some people are giving a little too much credit to the devil. Some of you are just giving a little too much credit to your no good, funky upline. You are literally forgetting that according to every spiritual text in the history of the world and science, okay, science and religion agree on that. Universe, period, point blank, end of story, get over it. Anything else is not scientific and it's definitely not spiritual. Now, here we go with the explanation. So we got to make those verses make sense. Okay, to understand the spiritual plane, we have to make these verses make sense. Okay? The concepts are not identical, but they are intertwined in thought. Now, in ancient societies, a ruler, a lord, was the source of the law. Okay, do me a favor, mute your lines out. I don't want to have to say that again. We will have to take you off the call because whoever you are ruining our recording for the people who want the information. Thank you. So a ruler or a king, okay, in Latin, the word is going to be rex, R-E-X in the Latin. Okay, we had to study it in law school and the stuff just started clicking kind of in my head. In ruler, and the king or the ruler was also called a lord, okay? And the Lord used to issue decrees and laws, okay? The Lord used to issue decrees and laws. So there is a relation, okay, between the rex, the king or the lord of that particular area, and the Latin word. Who want to guess what the Latin word for law is? Anybody know it offhand without Google? Anybody want to guess what the Latin word for law is? Okay, the Latin word for lord, king, or ruler is rex. The Latin word for law is going to be lex. Okay, L-E-X, lex. Okay, so the rex would issue the lex, okay, in Latin. Now, remember, some of the oldest biblical translations are in Latin. So what we're going to do is, I want you to understand that there's a foundational principle in law where the ruler, the lord, the king, issues the law. Rex and lex are related, okay? Now, the law that was issued, all right, and this is some stuff that came, way before the Israelites crossed over the river to go to Canaan, way prior to that, just prior to Egypt, even in the Coptic text, okay? We are going to start talking law that is the most important spiritual law you will ever hear, and it is called the law of mind, all right? Some other texts will call it the law of mentalism. Well, that's New Age woo-woo stuff. That's not the Bible. Yes, it is. You just don't know it because you haven't read the book at that level, okay? Let's look at Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Ladies and gentlemen, the heart does not think in the same way that the verse would make it think you think it does. What the verse literally reads is, as a man thinketh in his subconscious mind, so is his physical reality. It's what think in that part of your brain that we talked about on the last call. Okay? The subconscious mind. With that constructive thought and repetition, you will create your entire world. And this is why what you listen to and what you hear and the conversations you have are very, very important. Okay? Because that's the stuff that will condition your subconscious mind. All right? So now that we know that we're talking about the law of mind, I want you to exchange the word, okay, Lord for law. All right. I need you to understand the law. The Bible scholars and the scholars of every other spiritual text. This is not a thing unique to the Bible, by the way. It's the book I'm most familiar with. Okay, let's look at that verse from Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10 again. Instead of saying fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, why don't we try the fear of the law is the beginning of wisdom? Now, you should be scared of the law of mentalism. Why? Because it's so strong. Because whatever you think over and over and over again in your head, that's the life you're going to have. You don't accidentally end up in med school. You have to think about it. Then you have to do some stuff. Then you have to study and go take some tests. Anybody who ever graduated from med school on purpose or accident was using the law of mind. If I want to be a doctor, I have to think about it. I can't just accidentally decide that. And they're also using all three planes of existence. I have to spiritually think about it. Number two, I have to mentally go read these medical books. And number three, I got to fill out the application and physically drive my butt over there to school. That's how you become a doctor. You operate on all three planes of existence. It's the same thing with anything. That's how you become a parent most often. Okay? That's how you become a lawyer. That's how you become a top tier network marketer. So the actual code that is hidden within the text of the Bible is not the fear of the Lord. The Bible wasn't written in English. Don't be tied to the word like that. You can be, but you shouldn't be, because then you'll miss out on the esoteric, deeper meanings of the biblical text. Let's do another one. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 27 says, fear prolongs days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Well, I don't want to be scared of the Lord. I love Jesus. But what if the hidden esoteric meaning of that is, which I know it to be, I'm just saying it rhetorically, the fear of the law prolongs days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Ladies and gentlemen, the fear of the law, you should have a healthy fear of the law. Why? Because you can create good or evil in your life based on the power of your constructive or destructive thought. You don't believe me? Let's try another one. In the fear of the Lord, there is strong confidence. That verse makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why would I be confident in something I'm scared of? That don't even resonate. Like linguistically, it makes no sense. Okay. But it says, in the fear of the law, and in the fear of the law. I do have confidence in the law of mind. How? Because that's how I became a top earner in network marketing at every company I've ever been. Okay. I knew that I would have one of the fastest growing, largest teams in the network marketing industry, even if people quit, even if people leave, even if people try to leave and take other people with them and badmouth Coach Marcus and badmouth me, badmouth the products, talk crazy about Paula, try to leave and go to another company. It doesn't matter. Okay? Because the fear of the Lord is confidence. I know the law. I know the law that says the power of my thought, as I think it in my heart, that's what I'm gonna get. If I really think I'm a network marketing top earner, I'm gonna be a network marketing top earner. Can't nobody stop me. Not you, not the devil, not nobody. Why? Because the Bible told me that. Okay? You don't have to understand it at the level I understand it, but I highly recommend you do. Okay? Let me give you another one. Remember that verse from the book of Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. I don't really just see Jesus out creating evil. I don't really see that happen. I don't see the Lord really out just doing dirt, creating evil. So I know that that verse is being mistranslated on purpose. So what the Bible would call the heathen would not understand it. Okay? Let's try it the way we said it. Let's swap out the Latin word rex for lex. All right. Easy to make that little change in the translation when they were writing this book in English, and that's not the original language. I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the law, do all these things. Ladies and gentlemen, the law and your usage of the law of mind is how evil is being created in your life 99.9% of the time. Sometimes it might not be that, but 99.9% of the times, your success or your failure is being dictated by your thought. And a lot of people don't like that because it gives you personal. You have to look at your bank account and you have to say, dog it, it's been me this whole time. Like that Disney series, it was Agatha all along. It's been you along. You can hide it. You can run from it. You can deny it. You can hang up this phone, cuss me out, and quit. Don't do it in my face, though. I'll smack you. But just understand all of that is on you. Okay. And let me tell you, one of the people who figured it out earliest recorded person to ever figure this out was a young man by the name of Job. Okay. And the quick thing about the book of Job is that although it is not put first in the Bible, Genesis is first, Job is the oldest book in the Bible. That particular scroll was written first. And we know that because of the carbon dating aspects of the scrolls and the copies of the scrolls or whatnot. But we really know it because Job never mentioned Jesus, Moses, Abram or Abraham, Israel, Isaac, Jacob, Noah. Okay. Job mentioned none of them. Okay. Why? Because they weren't born yet. That's why no Bible patriarch or matriarch is mentioned in the book of Job. So we know it's one of the oldest book. This is what Job says in chapter 3, verse 25. For the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. So Job, as you know, had a really great life. Then his life got really, really bad. Kids got killed, wife got killed, he got sick, cattle got killed. And then he got it all back after he had a revelation of the law. Okay, so it says right there, for the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, and that which I was afraid of has come unto me. So it's what he feared, it's what he was thinking about in his mind that eventually showed up at his door and killed his kids. Okay, it's going to be the same thing for you. If you think that you can't make it in network marketing, I hate to break it to you, you'll be at the same company as us. You'll join the same time as some people. You'll get access to the same products, the same problems, the same pay plan, and the same teaching opportunities and everything else. And you'll come from the same town as them. Okay. And they'll win and you'll lose. Why? Because you're not understanding the law of mind. And the law of mind, I don't care if you don't want to understand it. You're still going to live by it. You don't have a choice. It's the way that humans create their environment. You cannot not work with the law of mind. Even so, you might as well stick with us and let us teach you how to use it to create the life that you want. Okay, let's finish up because I know some of y'all are still not sold on this, but you need to be. Okay, here it is from Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Remember what it said before. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord has not done it? So if there's evil in the city, that's crazy to say until you understand that there be evil in a city and the law has not done it. And that's Amos chapter 3, verse 6. The law did it. It's the people using the law and using it without understanding it, but you're going to use it anyway, and creating the negative results in their life. Okay? Lamentations chapter 3, verse 37. Got a whole book on crying. Okay? Who can speak and have it happen if the Lord has not decreed it? So even if you say something that's going to happen and it happened, it doesn't matter if it happened or not. It's you're working with the law that did it. All right? Just understand that. And again, Deuteronomy chapter 32, 39, one of my favorites. See now that I, even I am he, there is no God with me. So when you hear this person talking to Moses, this is the Lord, because he says there's no God with me. Okay. And that's a bunch of translations, but just understand that. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Okay. The Lord does that. It's the law. Okay. Proverbs 16:4, last one we talked about. The Lord hath made all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. It's the law. And it's your working with the law. And this is why one of the funniest verses in Exodus, one of the funniest verses in Exodus is when God is going, Moses trying to get the people across the river. All right. And I forget the chapter, verse, that's 23. Maybe, I don't know. I'll find it for you. But this is what it says word for word. This is what it says. Moses was talking to God at this particular time. And he is literally telling God that I'm having trouble getting these people, over. And this is the great verse right here. Then the Lord, again, the law, the Lord said, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That's interesting. The law will go out and do work for you. Just understand that conceptually. Here's the next verse. Then the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Just tell them go. I've already handled it. Okay. It's the law speaking to Moses. Moses had to learn in that moment of the trial and difficulty that he's been using the law ever since he was a little boy. Okay. But that was his quote unquote come to Jesus moment, come to Lord moment to understand that. So it's the law of mind. All right. And as we get to the end of the call, for my advanced learners out there, I'm going to give you a little bit more. Y'all going to get something tonight. Y'all going to get fed tonight. Okay. Y'all going to get it. Put a 1 in the chat. I know y'all taking notes because ain't nobody in the comments. Put a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. And I'm going to teach you how to use this as we wrap up the call to understand mastering the spiritual plane. You have to get this down, or else all the mental stuff I'm going to teach you Tuesday night and then next Sunday, it's not going to matter because it's only going to work for you temporarily. Okay, y'all grown. Y'all grown at this point. You're grown in network marketing and you're going to be grown in personal development. Okay. Now, this is from Matthew chapter 9, verse 29. And Jesus said, according to your faith, shall it be done unto you. Now, faith is a combination of thought and belief. Okay. It's how you use the law of mind in your favor. Jesus is instructing people. He didn't say run around 10 times. He didn't say go tithe the extra 20 billion. Okay. He said very specifically in Matthew chapter 9, verse 29, one of the gospels. All right. Jesus said, according to your faith, shall it be done unto you. And what is faith, ladies and gentlemen? It's a combination of thought and belief. It's an invisible mental activity. It's the law of mind, the law of mentalism. It is the literal mental activity that is invisible, that takes place in your head, that creates your reality. Okay. You can look at Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22. The blessings of the Lord maketh rich. Well, I haven't quite seen the Lord in the physical come and make me rich, but I do know, if I change the word, the blessings of the law maketh rich. Okay, I have worked with the law, and you should too. You can work with the law. Okay, the law is actually what makes people rich. And the Bible also says God is no respecter of persons. So a lot of times in this world, you'll see people that are quote unquote bad to you or quote unquote evil, and they will be as happy as they want to be and healthy, okay? Because God is no respecter of persons. Every human being has the ability to use the law. The problem is these quote unquote bad people that you don't like, they're using the law on purpose. And a lot of the good people are running around ignorant of the law because we as network marketers are not doing our job well enough to get them into this school of education and educate them. All right. Notice I didn't give you a single verse or word that wasn't word for word from the Bible. I don't have to retranslate this. I ain't got to interpret it weird. Okay. I can take stuff. It's going to make perfect sense for you if it's for you to hear. Let's do another one. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 8:18, chapter 8, verse 18. I know Marcus loves this one. Thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth. Okay. That you should remember the Lord thy God. You should. And then we're also going to look at this and translate it a second way. You can translate this same verse 20 different times or interpret it. 20 will be correct. Okay. But let me give you this one. Thou shalt remember the law. Okay. The law. It's going to be the law. It is an operation of something that God created. Okay. The spiritual law, he gave you the ability to use it. Okay. For it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth. Just understand that. All right, this will be the last one. Just hear me out. I'm wrapping up the call. Put a one in the chat if it makes sense. Just let me know if this is making sense. Because I be worried about y'all sometimes. When y'all don't be getting results, thank God for people like Charlotte. Because if y'all don't be getting results fast enough, I be thinking either we ain't teaching or y'all ain't doing. Somebody ain't doing their job. And it ain't going to be me. Okay. Let's do this one. This is from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 24. Surely I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand. All right. Look what Isaiah says. Surely, as I have thought, he didn't say as I did, or even as I did. He's talking about the law of mind. He's talking about the spiritual plane. Surely, as I have thought in the mental, so shall it come to pass in the physical. Okay. You got to have this spiritual plane of existence down before you dive into the mental. I meant to say spiritual. Surely as I have thought, because thinking is a spiritual process. It's a creative process. Okay. Surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. All right. And again, this is all internal work. This is all the internal work. You don't have to say it. Okay. No different from the Quran, Surah Al-Ra'ad, chapter 13, verse 11. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. The only thing inside you, other than your organs, and it's not telling you to do that, only thing inside you is the thoughts that you harbor, the way that you're until you change what's inside you. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob ain't no different. And when y'all figure that out, y'all might be okay. Look, you might be okay. All right. So to finish it up, and I'm trying to close with 5 minutes, but hopefully I'll get the point. Hopefully, you're getting value from this information. Don't let me waste this information on people that's not going to use it or comprehend it or learn it to use it, because this is the stuff that really changes your life. The strategy we give you on the next 2 calls, that's easy and it's fun and it's simple. The strategy we give you, the work to go do, the next 2 calls after that, is easy, it's simple, it's fun. But that's not going to be the thing that's been holding y'all back since y'all been here, a lot of y'all. Okay, Job chapter 2, verse 10 says this: shall we accept good from God and not trouble? You gotta take it all. Okay, you gotta take it all. And this is why complaining is going to be the number one thing you can do to ruin, okay, the thought and belief have. A lot of people will have the thought and belief down, and the law of mind will start working on your behalf. The Lord will start moving over the face of the water. Things will start happening behind the scenes that your literal constructive thought, your God-given ability to create your reality with your thought, will start happening, but then you'll get to talking. You will get to talking. A lot of reason why you had more miracles back then as you do today is because we got cell phones, email, and social media. That's why. People talk too much and it don't even be positive stuff. People don't think enough. When you complain, you're denying exactly who and what God made you to be. You're denying the ability that you have to create your own reality by the continued use of constructive thought. This is why God hates complainers, and some of the worst complainers are going to be church folk and network marketers. Okay. People will complain about the products, the upline, this, that, or the third. And the reason I have to explain this to you, even though the call's running a little long, I'm sorry about that, but y'all will get it. The reason I have to explain this complaint to you is because you'll be doing the first part. You'll get the mental plane lined up, but then you'll get to complaining on the back end and not realize it because I didn't tell you. That's the caveat. Okay, that's the caveat. All right. Numbers chapter 11, verse 1. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. Okay. Say it right there. And when they complained, it displeased the law. The law heard it. And guess what the law did? Like your parents say, when you get to complaining and whining, keep complaining. I'm going to give you something to complain about. That's what the Lord says. That's what the law literally says. And that's Numbers chapter 11, verse 1. Here's another one. Numbers chapter 21, verse 5 and 6. And the people spoke against God and against Moses and said, wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die? They don't have no bread, neither is there any water. And the bread that we do have, our soul loatheth it. And the Lord, here's the law again, the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see how people were complaining about God, complaining about Moses? Moses wasn't perfect, but Moses was the leader they had. He wasn't perfect, but he's who you got. When you complain about the leader that you got, and we ain't comparing none of us to Moses, obviously, but when you complain about your upline, when you complain about whatever leader happened to be in your organization, because it sure ain't you, not yet anyway, okay? Just understand that the Lord is going to hear that. And look at the people was complaining. They said they don't have no bread nor any water, but then they said our soul loatheth the bread that we do have. So a lot of time the complaining don't be making no sense. People be breaking their back for you, bleeding for you, trying to spend it more on you than you done even spent on your kids half the time. And people just do not, they're going to complain anyway. You're not going to win. The fiery serpents are going to lock your business up. That's the way that the law of mind works. Okay? Numbers chapter 14, verse 26 and 29. I got to drive this point home. I'm being redundant on purpose. And the Lord, again, this is the law, and the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this congregation of people who complain against me? I've heard the complaints which the children of against me. Listen close, y'all. To them, as I live, says the Lord. Okay, now this is interesting because Moses had with God. Bible says he saw God face to face. But the Bible's using the word Lord here on purpose. So this is God speaking to Moses and Aaron, and it says, say to them, as I live, says the Lord, just as you have spoken in my hearing, so I will do to you. The carcasses of you who have complained against me shall fall in the wilderness, all of you who were numbered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above. Now, here's the point. Let me just explain to you what happened. The Israelites were complaining after hearing a negative report from the spies, and they were complaining about the promised land, and God condemned them to wander in the wilderness for 40 years till they died. That journey was supposed to be 3 days. Because of their complaining, it took them 40 years. Sometimes your network marketing success is supposed to be a 6 months to 6 figures race. Sometimes you're supposed to be the person who have the 100 grand in 1 year story, and then the next year is $250,000, next year 300,000. Some of you're supposed to have that, and you on the way. It's all working for you. Place. Then you get up with the wrong people and you start complaining. And then God says complaining is the number one way that I'm going to stretch your timeline out. I'll stretch it out till you die. You'll be struggling in network marketing 40 years and never win. And you'll have to see other people pop right on over to the promised land right in your face because they wasn't complaining. Okay? You have to understand the law of mind to truly understand the spiritual plane that has to be the foundation of your success. You got to give yourself a lot more responsibility and a lot more credit for the creative aspect of it. Okay. And I'm not going to leave you with handed. Here's some more instructions for you, not from me, from the book. Okay. This is Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do all that is written therein, for then shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. And that's the one we're going to finish with, because I need you to unpack what's said in Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law, so we're talking about the law of mind. It's the law on a deeper esoteric level, not just the literal surface area, of the 614 Mosaic, laws and rules and the 10 Commandments deeper. Okay. The law of mind shall not depart out of thy mouth. What does that mean? It means that you should be talking about it? No, people often interpret it like that. That's not it. It says, shall not depart out of thy mouth. The stuff that I'm telling you, you don't need to be talking about it all the time. Okay? Look what it says. But thou shalt meditate therein. You should be thinking about it. You don't have to run around telling people, this is what I'm doing. I'm working on the law of mind. This is what I'm doing. I'm focused on Proverbs 23:7. I'm gonna use Matthew chapter 9, verse 29. I'm gonna create my whole life. Just you watch. You don't the words don't have to depart. They don't have to go out of your mouth. You can keep them in. Look what it says. But thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Just be thinking about it, that they mayest observe to do all that is written therein. It's not a whole lot written for you to do, but the stuff it is, you got to be very consistent at doing it. And look what it says. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous. The money comes after you understand the law of mind. And just money is not the only thing that's prosperous. Look what it says. And then thou shalt have good success. All success ain't good. Some success is rough because if you get success on accident, you can't duplicate it or keep it going, that hurt. But good success, that success you're going to have, it's meditation on what's learned. It's meditation on the universal law. Okay? That's what happened. Y'all get it. I hope you get it. All right. That's all we got tonight. I don't need to beat a dead horse. I hope you'll understand that. So do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the deep dive into the comp plan is the next two parts. Look at Rick jumping the gun. See, this is what I'm talking about. All the stuff we talk about, Rick's like, can we talk about the comp plan? I'm calling Rick out because I know he can handle it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why when we teach you the comp plan, some of you are never going to get the income from the comp plan because you're missing this part. Oh, fighting love Rick. God dog, that's my boy, man. All right. But yes, Rick, yes. Tuesday and Thursday, we will be doing the deep dive of the mental part of network marketing with HBN and GoToSana, and we will be giving you the mental foundation of how to really work the comp plan. So on those, make sure that you have plenty of paper and pen on Tuesday and Thursday, because I'm going to be giving you algorithms and drawing diagrams, and you're going to need to write this stuff yourself. Sydney ain't going to be able to save y'all on this one. Sydney be saving y'all every week. Sydney ain't going to be saving this one, because if you don't write this stuff down yourself on Tuesday and Sunday, if you don't write this stuff down yourself, you won't know how to do it, and your brain won't know how to do it. You can read Sydney's words all day. She'll know how to do it, but you won't. Okay, but yeah, to answer your question, Rick, I got you covered, brother. Yes, the mental work of network marketing, the mental strategy of it all, that's the mental plane, and we'll be covering that on Tuesday and Thursday. So thank y'all so bearing with me. I know we ran a little bit long on the call. I appreciate your time so much. Any last minute questions? Rick said hi, tied in. Rick, at the end of 8 classes, it'll all make sense, brother. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. The mental processes of computation and math and algorithms are not the spiritual processes of creating your own reality using the law of mind. The mental and the spiritual are 2 different levels. But at the end of this class, everybody will have a way better understanding of it. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for y'all time, man. We will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all. Oh, goodness. Rick Burnett. Too much. Too much.